Hello and welcome to a very special unboxing. This, my friends, if you can read through that tape, is a Casino Royale limited edition from the Folio Society, which wasn't really sure how this is held together. Apparently it has little notches there. Now this was published 2 years ago? Last year? It was published a while ago. I mean, the original version was published years ago from Folio Society. But a year or two ago, in celebration, maybe it was just earlier this past year, I don't know, time is irrelevant lately. In celebration of the 70th anniversary of James Bond, Folio Society did another version of Casino Royale. They had previously done a standard edition, and then they said, you know what, let's do a fancy edition. And fancy it is. It was so fancy that it was way outside my budget. But in the last days of Folio Society's sale that they just had, they decided to add this at 50% off, which is insane and is a price that I could stomach. Couldn't, swing the full price one, but damn it, if they're going to twist my arm with 50% off, then I guess I'm going to have to buy it. So literally, it was the 11th hour. The sale was ending in just under an hour. I had slept on it, and I woke up, hit buy, and the rest is history. Now I'm here sharing this with you. So I do have the standard edition. This is just to protect it, presumably. Nice little piece of almost like wax paper to protect the inside of the book. We have Fay Dalton's gorgeous, this is actually the slipcover illustration from the trade edition, which isn't really a trade edition. Their editions are fancy to begin with, but Fay Dalton's artwork is top-notch. We're going to put the case aside for now, though. And there we have a 007 wafer sticker. Oh, wow. This is not, there were actually a bunch of limited editions that were on sale, including a couple that were bound by Ludlow, bound by Richard Tong. This was not bound by Richard Tong. It would have been a much easier buy if it had been. But it's still very nice. It's got blocked leather. You can see the nice little leather there. We have some gilding up at the top. Oh, all sides. Gilding on all sides of the page block. And, of course, we have a cover design by Jamie. What was Jamie's last name? Jamie Clarke. Jamie Clarke did the stylings of the cover and presumably the end papers here. But then I know this smells great. You can't smell it from the video unless you have magic smell-o-vision. But this is nice. It's a nice smelling book. I believe Jamie Clarke designed a couple of different pieces here. But it is signed by Fay Dalton. So here's the limitation page. It is introduced by Kim Sherwood, illustrated by Fay Dalton, published to celebrate the 70th anniversary edition, 750 numbered copies and 20 lettered copies. This is number 288, which kind of surprises me because I feel like they being Folio Society, issue the numbers in terms of them being ordered. And I can't possibly imagine only being the 288th person to buy a copy. Like, that's almost 500 copies left. That can't be right. The paper is very nice paper stock here. So the colored illustrations throughout, I'm pretty sure it was 2023. I'm pretty sure all of the colored illustrations throughout this are the illustrations from the original edition, which was from 2015, according to this. Oh, new introduction. Kim Sherwood's introduction is new to this edition. But there are new... The paper, it's thicker, and it feels almost waxier in a way. I don't know if that's really the right word for it, but it's got like a... Can you see the sheen? You can see kind of the light hitting the paper there. Anyways, the paper's nice and thicker, even with the sheen. But there are 8 new black and white illustrations from Fay Dalton, such as this. The black and white ones are exclusive or are new to this edition. And that's actually really cool. It's actually kind of built in with the text in mind. That's cool. The text is formatted around the illustrations. I know the color ones are just full color, full page, which is how they are in the trade edition as well, the regular folio editions. So over the course of the last, going on 9 years now, Folio Society has been publishing all of Ian Fleming's works, all of his Bond works. I shouldn't say all of his works. They did get Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but I don't think Invisible Cities has gotten any folio love. No words on that page, except on the rear side. Obviously, it's, because of the thicker paper, the color pages have an entire page dedicated to them, but the black and white is just almost printed offset with the actual text itself. I say almost all because, oh, wow. Is this one new? Was there a 2-page in the trade? I feel like I've seen this image before, but I don't recall there being a double. And with him with Vesper Lind. As I was saying before, I keep distracting myself, they haven't finished the collection yet. I believe they still have Quantum of Solace and The Living Daylights, which it sounds like it's 2 titles. They're combined into one little short story novella collection. I believe that is the one that remains to be published. If you haven't read Ian Fleming, then you need to. It is, I know, he's a little misogynistic, he, it hasn't aged perfectly well, but wow, they're quick and easy reads. This is under 200 pages. This is the very large size. The text itself is larger as well, so it's not like it's offsetting large paper size with standard 12-point font. The text is a little bit larger. Bond and Le Chiffre. They're very quick reads. Weirdly enough, something I did not realize, there's a Smersh agent there. This is prior to, Smersh. This is prior to Spectre being a thing. But anyways, retroactively you can say it's almost, that's interesting. You have the black and white illustration, which is almost the same as the color illustration. And boom, laying in the bed. Boom, laying in the bed. Anywho, quick read. Wow, I like that one. That is awesome. If you have not read James Bond or any of the Fleming novels, you really should. It is top notch. The paper is Natural Evolution paper by Lego. There you have it, guys. Lego is getting into the publishing game. You don't have to spring for the fancy editions like these ones. I would like to say that you could buy copies of the book wherever books are sold, but I don't know that that's true. I don't know if they still have it, but at least 10 years ago, Amazon actually had the publishing rights for the U.S. publishing rights for James Bond, which was the wildest thing. I had worked at Barnes & Noble for a brief period of time, and during that 1 year with Barnes & Noble, you'd always have people coming in and saying hey, do you carry the James Bond novels? And we're always no, you gotta go to our competitor. You gotta go to our competitor online, Amazon. I don't know if that's still the case. Bezos has enough money that he can easily keep those publishing rights, which is a shame because, you want to be able to just go to the bookstore and buy a copy. But maybe those rights have reverted. I don't know. So there you have it, my friends. That is the limited edition of Casino Royale, published for the 70th anniversary edition from Folio Society. Top-notch production all around. Like I said, it might be hard to justify at full price, but if the opportunity arises where you could pick it up for half price, it is way more than worth it. It's beautiful. Like I said, it might not be the fanciest limited edition out there. There are some other ones which are hand-bound by Richard Tong and Ludlow. This one, it's not bad, though. And at least it has new illustrations. Some people get criticized Folio for their limited editions of, say, The Haunting of Hill House, We've Always Lived in the Castle, and Turn of the Screw. which have the exact same illustrations between the limited edition and their standard edition. And the only thing that might be different is the binding itself. Turn of the Screw did have a Ludlow binding, so that is superb. It's probably the highest quality binding that you are going to get in the small press market these days. But the contents of the novel are essentially just the trade edition. Anyways, I think it's next week. Oh, no, it's not next week. It's March, I think they said. March 1st, I believe, is when the spring collection debuts from Folio Society. I did previously unbox the limited edition of the Gormenghast trilogy by Mervyn Peake. If you were holding out on the Gormenghast trilogy, they are releasing a standard edition of the Gormenghast trilogy in the spring collection. So in addition to being able to pick up standard editions of almost all of the Bond novels, you can very soon pick up a standard edition of Gormenghast, which is an incredibly high quality limited edition. But the standard edition looks like it's just cloth bound. You're going to get very nice quality as well. Folio Society does have its own weird exchange rate thing going on, which is unfortunate. But if you're in the UK, it's great news. If you're in the US, you're going to be paying a little bit of premium. And I'm not even just talking about regular exchange rate or international shipping. Like, no, they take whatever the exchange rate is and they add a little buffer for themselves. So it's like, oh, this should only cost me $100. And then you're like, oh, but when you look online, it's $140. That's kind of the buffer there. So I don't know what the prices are, but as far as I don't know if Folio, I guess, would be considered a small press. They're not small press in the same independent press idea as, let's say, like Suntop or even Ludlow's side project Lyra that Rich Tong has. But they are a small press, and they're owned by their employees, which is pretty cool as well. So, but you do get some nice quality cloth books for the price that you pay. I do have a couple unboxings on the channel for Folio Society, but I have plenty more of other non-folio unboxings on the channel, including at least one book review a week. So please consider liking and subscribing. If you want to see another Folio Society limited edition unboxing, I have another one that is right around the corner, also purchased at the tail end of this sale, also 50% off. And it's one that's pretty special because you can't actually buy it outside of North America. So be sure to like and subscribe to check that out in a day or two once it's arrived and has been unboxed. It's going to be a beast of a novel, so I'm going to have to figure out, well, it's not really a novel, beast of a publication. So I got to figure out, like, how to record it, because, I mean, unless I'm taping this camera to the ceiling, I don't know if we're going to have enough room for this thing. It's big. But anyways, subscribe to check that out, and we'll see you around next time.